In the next few minutes, we'll look at 4 additional special scene or SCN modes that can help you get creative in unusual situations. As with all special scene modes, these are for still images only. Here's a great way to get a different and exciting look in still pictures. Canon EOS models with special scene or SCN modes often offer a panoramic shot mode. This lets you shoot broad, sweeping panoramic shots. You take multiple original still images, sweeping the camera from one side to the other while it fires continuously. Once you remove your finger from the shutter button, the camera then processes the multiple original shots into one final finished panoramic image and saves it to your memory card. You can hold the camera in the normal horizontal position or switch to vertical orientation. Your camera movement can be left to right, right to left, or even up and down, regardless of how you're holding the camera. Arrows on the LCD screen indicate the direction to move the camera, and you can cycle through all 4 possible directions by either tapping a small icon with arrows on the LCD screen or pressing the camera's AF Point Select button. Once you settle on a direction to start from, you'll see your scene on the LCD screen is partially shaded. Use the clear or brighter area to compose your first shot. Then focus, hold the shutter button fully down, and start to pan the camera in the direction of the big arrow. When you move the camera to take in the sweeping view, try to move smoothly and not too fast, and allow a bit of subject overlap from one shot to the next. Just remove your finger from the shutter button when you've reached the end of what you want to capture. One last hint. Often, our initial tendency is to zoom our lens to the widest position for panoramic shots. But remember, you're taking multiple shots to create one final image. At wide-angle lens settings, you may get distortion where the finished scene appears somewhat curved. If you zoom to more of a telephoto setting, sometimes even holding the camera vertically, but moving it left to right or vice versa, you can often end up with a finished image with a straighter perspective. It's essentially an automated process and a great way to produce cool views of that next stunning landscape or vast interior you encounter. Even experienced shooters may want to give panoramic shot mode a try. Today's mirrorless cameras shoot still images more quietly than traditional SLR cameras. But sometimes even a slight clicking sound or audible beeping can be inappropriate. Or you may simply want to work inconspicuously and avoid any notice that you're taking pictures. The silent shutter mode within the SCN settings of Canon EOS cameras so equipped makes all the camera settings you need to achieve this once you activate it. Any beeps for in-focus confirmation or even things like self-timer countdown are now silenced. The camera is switched to electronic shutter operation for still images. In other words, silent shutter mode makes you and your camera inconspicuous. As with most other special scene modes, if you press the Set button on the back of your camera, you can tap an icon to adjust overall image brightness to lighten or darken the next pictures you take. There are also icons to change the size of your active AF area and also to tell the AF system to identify and put sharp focus on specific types of subjects which may appear in your scene. We've all been in situations from a ballet recital to a church service where silent camera operation is called for. With the silent shutter mode on compatible Canon EOS cameras, you have exactly that. A possible problem with any digital camera is that some scenes can have such a wide range of brightness, from areas directly hit by sunlight to dark shadows in the same scene, that the camera can't ordinarily give you detail in the brightest and darkest areas at the same time. This difference in dark to light brightness is called dynamic range. If your Canon EOS camera has special scene modes, there may be an answer with an SCN mode called HDR Backlight Control. It sounds complex, but what it does is greatly simplify a process that often takes time for even the most experienced photographers to handle. Activate HDR Backlight Control, zoom and compose your scene, and the camera will automatically take several extremely rapid continuous shots, each at different exposure settings, and composite them into one single finished image with a greater range of detail in highlight and shadow areas. It'll sound like only one click of the shutter occurs when you press the shutter button, but actually multiple quick shots will be taken. Just hold the camera steadily as it does this. Anytime you're outside in bright sunlight, especially if you're shooting from or into an area with dark shadows, consider HDR Backlight Control, especially if you try one shot at normal settings and the brightest and darkest areas just aren't recorded properly in the first attempt. Ever want to record city lights at night but didn't have a tripod to keep things steady? Here's a special scene mode available on many Canon EOS camera models, designed to make it possible to achieve great results just hand-holding the camera. Activating Handheld Night Scene changes how the camera operates. The camera assumes you want a sharp picture of a non-moving subject, whether it's nearby or distant. Zoom and compose your scene as you desire. Hold the camera steadily and gently press the shutter button fully. The camera will now take 4 separate rapid shots in succession. In fact, they're so rapid, the click you hear sounds like only one shot was taken. A few moments later, your finished image plays back on your LCD screen. A big difference with handheld night scene operation is that the camera will use much faster shutter speeds than it would with a single shot taken in low light with other full auto shooting modes. As long as you make a reasonable effort to hold the camera steady, the finished result, composited in camera from 4 separate original images, should be sharp with good detail. In fact, you can use handheld night scene mode anytime you're in a very dimly lit area, as long as your subjects aren't moving. And as with other SCN modes, press the set button on your camera and you can adjust overall brightness and several other parameters. Don't leave your camera at home if you go out at night. Give the handheld night scene a try.